Hey guys, my name is Dakota and I'm helping you get things done. Today we're looking at this light here. We're going to change this ballast because it's flickering like this. We've changed the bulbs already, so we know it's not the bulbs. And as I get into it, I'm going to look at some of the reasons why it's flickering like that. I know because I've already done some of these others out here, which we can show the other ones down this row, that they have started to corrode, and that's what's really causing this to, it's not getting the full current, the full voltage, and that's why it's starting to flicker. And I'll point that out as we go. Okay, so this is the tools you're going to need for this job. I needed a hammer. I've got a nice cobalt hammer. I'll put a link in the description below. I'm assuming most people have a hammer. You're going to need wire nuts. I've got two different colored ones here. Maybe one day I'll do a video of different types of wire nuts. You're going to need a screwdriver. I got a flathead screwdriver. And some of this stuff you may not need. It's just what I ran into. That's the bolts they used. See, I needed a 5/16 driver here. You may not. You may have just used nails in your ballast, and you may just need a hammer. I don't know. You also need to have a non-contact voltage detector. Make sure your power's off. I'll put a link in the description below. I got some lineman pliers, and then most importantly, you got to have the headlamp from your mother-in-law. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take this ballast because this is a showroom window, and at nighttime it's really, really bright because we have two ballasts up here. So we're going to take one of them and put it back there where I just showed you. And this one's actually wired up. If you can get this, I don't know if you can. It's wired directly into that outlet right there rather than wires coming out of the ceiling. And I'll show y'all how you can take that off, that cord and plug off, and then wire directly into the ceiling too. All right, first things first, make sure you unplug the power. We want to make sure we don't have any power going to it. These right here, you twist them. They're not hot. They're on. They can be on, so they're not hot. You just twist it to the left or the right, and you can pull it right out like that. They've got these little. Those are hot, so don't touch those. And I'll hand these to you. You want to take those? We'll get all of these out. This design right here has this little clip on it. What you do is you can do it with your hands sometimes. This one's really hard. So you just take you a pair of pliers, twist it up and down, and it comes right out. And same thing on this other side. Okay, so this device is hardwired to this cord and plug. So we actually don't have to do any wiring up here to get this down. All we have to do is take this screw out and this screw out. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so with this ballast, it's really, really simple. They got you the wiring diagram right here. You got a black and a white coming into your ballast. And then from your ballast, you got a blue, a black, or a blue, and another blue, and then a red and a red coming out. And you also have this yellow. But every bit of that is taken care of. So all you have to worry about is your black and your white. In this case, they had it coming out of this plug right here, and it does not have a ground. Now, technically, you're supposed to have a ground, so this case is grounded out. We're going to see when we go in here that this is 12-2 run into the box, but there is no ground. There's no, so we're not going to be able to put a ground on this. That is upsetting, and I've instructed people that you need to do it differently, but that's just the way we're going to have to do it. Right here, what they've done is they just put an extension. So you got your black, hooked your black, and then hooked it here. So that way it can reach from here to here. We're not going to need any of that. So all we have to do is just take this off. And you see they've got it wired together. And we'll take this off. And then I'm going to go ahead and keep these because we may use them again.
What are those called?
They're called wire nuts. And these are Wago wire nuts. I think it's W-E-G-O, and these are real nice. You just push them in and they connect, and it's all done for you. And so you don't even have to do anything else. These ones, I personally like these a little better. I think they hold a little tighter, but those Wagos are very convenient and quick. All right, we can discard our jumpers. Just throw them in the trash right here. Then we'll come down here. This is called a bushing. Right here, goes in, protects it, protects your cable as you go in. I'm going to get a flathead, loosen it, and we'll just pull it straight out. Then we're going to reuse it up here where we come in, and that's how we'll do that. So the way this works is you send your wires through here, and then you put this through your hole, and you just twist this around there. And when you get it on there real tight, you can put a screwdriver on there and bang it real tight to where it's not going to move. I mean, it's never going to come off once you get it in there, but that's best practice to go ahead and do that. So now we're going to clear out our hole here underneath. We have to pop this hole out right here. All right, step one, do not forget this, cut your power. I'm not sure which breaker goes to this one. These are hardwired, there is no switch. So I'm just gonna start cutting them until I get it. Putting that one, putting that one, putting that one, putting that one, putting that one. And last
There we
one,
go.
All right, so we're up here. And we're gonna go ahead and start by taking our lights out, our bulbs. With these ones, you push to the right and then pop it out. It's got a little device over there. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna make sure we don't have any volts, anything going through here. But one of the reasons this was flickering, one of the reasons this was flickering is because of this right here. If you look in here, I don't know how close you can get. Here, let me see the camera. Oh, did I mess it up? No. You can see all that corrosion it built up in there. So it's getting a little bit of power, but it's not getting the full force of the power. And so we're going to take all that off. Now, you could potentially clean that, and it could work for you for another 5 or 10 years. But like I said, we have another ballast that's just being used up there for no reason. So we're going to go ahead and change it. And this ballast is a little bit more difficult to wire. It's an older one, and we're just going to get rid of it. Out, there's 2 flathead screws here. Let me see if I can show people.
Say it again.
2 flat-headed screws right there. One there, one there. There's also a nail. We're just going to pry that out. It's the same way on both sides. So I'm just going to get that out real fast, and we'll be golden. Send my wire through. I'm going to cut off this little bit of extra, but I'll do that here in a minute because it's really gross looking. So just send it through your bushing here. Go ahead and pull it through. And that just protects the conductors so they don't get hurt. And I'm really lucky here. I have a nice little post to hold it on both sides. Alright, and as we get it on through there, we want 1/4 of an inch of this sheathing to come through the bushing before I tighten it down. My screwdriver. I can't even see what I'm doing. Just driving by faith. That's what you gotta do sometimes in life. You gotta drive by faith, not by sight. Lucky for us, this ballast doesn't weigh a lot, so I can, with one hand, hold it up and just take the screws that we took out of the other end and just find us a hole on here. And technically speaking, you should probably find a stud, but like I said, these weigh maybe 5 pounds, so they don't weigh hardly anything. So if you were going to ground it, you'd have a white and a black and a ground coming out of your ceiling right here, which we only have a white and a black, so we can't ground it. But you just stick it with a green ground screw in any one of these holes, and it will ground the whole metal frame out. So we don't have that, so we won't worry about that. Okay, so now what we have to do is connect our black to our black and our white to our white. We're going to have to go underneath here so that we can bring these ballast or the connectors for the lights back down. What I'm going to do is, because I know these are real bad, they've got corrosion on them, and I don't need this much wire. It's a good idea to leave some for the next guy, but as you saw, I was pulling a lot out of the ceiling. So I'm going to go ahead and cut probably right here off, and that should give me plenty. And I'm going to do the same thing with this white one. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to send these back through this way. Okay, so I know this is 12 gauge. I talked about this in another video. You got solid and you got stranded. Go to the 12 gauge. I'm going to go ahead and strip this off. I'm going to try to make it about half an inch, maybe, I don't know how much they got, probably half an inch there. Go up to that. Go at an angle, makes it a little easier. Go back and forth, and then it comes right off. I mean, beautifully. And then same thing on the white. And what that does is it protects. If you use the wrong sides, you could harm your conductor inside there. Okay, so we're going to take our blacks, take our linemen's here, twist them, twist it together. That just makes a better twist on there to where they'll stay together. Easier inside that wire nut. Alright, now we're going to take our wire nuts. I'm going to put it down over that. You could, if you wanted, you could take some electrical tape to hold it on there. These ones aren't biting. There we go, we got it now. Alright. That's connected. Same thing with our whites. Just take our white ones. So these are our neutral. These are our hot power coming in, and our neutral power coming back to the panel. Because that's an alternating current, it has to flow all the way back. It has to make a complete circuit, otherwise it won't work. And when you get shocked, the circuit goes through your body. And that's how that works. All right, and wiring wise, that's all we have to do with this. So we just need to put our covers back on, put our bulbs in, turn the breaker on, we'll be set.
Pretty easy.
Yep. You cut a breaker back on, locate the breaker you need, look away from it, and just hold your arm like that, and then turn it on. And look here, we've got power. And if you're wondering why one of them's a different color, because it's got a different rating of Kelvin, and Kelvin's your color ratings, and maybe one day I'll do a video on that too. Thanks for watching.